Hey team! First video of the series. Today we are talking about cheats, sweets, bad foods, naughty foods, cheat meals, all negative emotional associations. So, I'm throwing something at you. This has worked beautifully for me. I can't remember where I got it from. Everything I learn is from someone else. So this came from someone else. Everyday foods and occasional foods. Everyday foods are something that you can have every single day that won't really have any negative impact on you. So we're looking for nutrients, vegetables, protein, anything that you can think of that you can eat, and it is going to be incredible for your body. Now, occasional foods are exactly that. They're occasional. So occasions can be anything. Occasions for someone that eats really, really clean, real food all the time, it might be something like potato. Maybe they don't eat potato. So maybe an occasional food is potato for someone. Someone else, an occasional food might be chocolate. The whole concept around this, though, is removing the negative association with food, because most of us have been brought up without happy thoughts around food. We've spent our life in that space, so we need to unravel all of the emotion. Everyday foods and occasional foods. Everyday foods, every day. Occasion, there's two ways of looking at this. You can make an occasion for it. So for example, something for me that I hold really, really highly, I love ice cream. Now that's an occasional food for me. It's usually full of dairy, it's full of sugar, it's full of things that will react to my body, but it makes me feel incredible. I love it. So when I choose to have ice cream, I make an occasion for it. The occasion might simply be something like, it is the most phenomenal weather, it is hot, it is beautiful, and I am going to go and get an ice cream because that is a beautiful occasion for me. I appreciate the sunshine more than anything, and so I'm going to go and get an ice cream and I'm going to enjoy every single moment of it. Other occasions could be something like what I had going on the weekend. It's Mum's birthday. It's an occasion. She has cake. Okay, I'm going to have a slice of cake. Yes, I lost my points for that, but it was an occasion that I decided was important to me. And so I had a slice of cake and I enjoyed every single mouthful. And I had a tiny slice of cake because that's all I needed. So occasional foods versus everyday foods. Making something an occasion. Make it an occasion. That will also hold you back from, I'm tired, it's the end of the day, there's no occasion, I want a glass of wine. I'm exhausted, I'm feeling really terrible, I need chocolate. That's also not an occasion. So, or it might be, I'm feeling utterly terrible, I've had the worst day of my life, I am going to have a piece of chocolate. You can play this game. It's a game. What we've found with humans is that if we can create something into a game, we're a lot more willing to buy into it. So this is a game for you. Occasional versus everyday foods. There's a few more things that come into this, other tips and tricks. So when you're having an occasional food for an occasion, add it to a meal. It will offset your insulin reaction to it. Okay, so have it with a main meal. This used to work beautifully for me when I was a radiation therapist and we got bombarded by chocolate and cake and cookies and you name it. It was always sitting there in the staff room. So I found that really challenging. I've got a massive sugar addiction, so I found that really challenging. So what I would do is I first made rules around what I would eat, what was actually important to me. So very specific type of cake. If that cake arrived, I would take one slice, a small slice, I'd wrap it in Glad Wrap, and then I would wait and have that with my lunch, because the cake would disappear really quickly whenever it arrived. So there wouldn't be any left for lunch. So I would take that piece of cake, wrap it in Glad Wrap, and then have it with my lunch. That was before I knew about occasional and every day. This was just a coping mechanism for that. But it worked a treat. So have it with a main meal. The other thing is ask yourself, why? Why am I wanting or craving or needing this food? And is there another way in which I can get the same stimulus? So I'm an emotional eater. So when I am tired, which generally relates to something that I'm stressed about, I crave sugar. because that's an energy food. It gives us energy. It's just that we don't need it. And it also makes me crash and burn. So it's a double whammy of no, I don't need sugar. So I asked myself, why? Okay, what's going on for me? Why am I craving this? And then I say, can I fix it with something else? This rolls into your elevation list. Everybody needs to have an elevation list. Quite simply, what this is what actual things float your boat and what makes you feel good. You write this list, and then this list becomes really important, and you refer back to this list every time you're feeling a little suboptimal or very suboptimal. So, for example, my list is the beach, it's coffee, it's meditation, it's gratitudes, it's listening to music. So I have this list, and then every time I feel suboptimal, when I'm craving sugar, I look back and I say, right, I'm going to get through this whole list. Then if I still really, 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 really want sugar, I might make an occasion for it. 99.9% of the time, to be honest, is 100% of the time. It's always worked. I've got to the end of the list and one, I'm elevated. I don't feel terrible anymore. And therefore I have the amount of self-control to say, I don't need that. I don't need that sugar. So there we go. There we have it. There are all my tips and tricks around cheats, treats, all of the terrible negative associations we have with particular foods. We're removing all of that. We're quite simply making it factual. We're going everyday foods and occasional foods. Roll with that. Let me know how you get on. Write your Thrive list and we'll keep going. Enjoy.